All right, so first thing first. I just want to make sure. Okay, we're live. Microphone is working. So first thing first, I would like to make an apology for my previous live stream, my top spin live stream. Well, I got all upset for nothing. Here's what happened. I was under impression that somebody was hacking me, right? Which sometimes you have to, make that assumption, and I'll explain why. What happened is, by mistake, on my phone, I hit on my email to make some changes on my YouTube channel. And every time you do that, you want to make some changes on your YouTube channel, right? It prompts you to, check on your phone to make sure that it's you, right? That you are really the one that's trying to make changes on your channel. And I guess I didn't realize that I actually have done that, that I have actually, because I forgot that I actually did that. So I thought maybe somebody else was trying to hack, my Google account and my YouTube channel. So then I started thinking about some usual suspects, out there in Central Florida. I'm not going to say who they are, right? I started thinking maybe this one person out there, right, in Central Florida might be doing it. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to disclose his info because the guy has already been exposed. But anyway, I thought that I was being hacked, but actually I wasn't getting hacked. It was just me that was trying to access my YouTube channel. But when every time you do that, it prompts you to check your phone to verify that it's you. So I got all pissed off for no reason, dude. I got all in the John Wick mode for no apparent reason. But look, you can't blame me for it because, I have to be vigilant because there were individuals who tried to hack me. So I'm very aware of that. I'm aware of that. And I know that it's there. And I know they're watching. Even right now, they might be watching. Maybe they're laughing their asses off here and there. But I'm always aware of that. But this time around, I made a mistake. So you see, I can apologize when I make a mistake. That's the whole point here. That's the whole very important lesson to be learned about me. When I make a mistake, I'm the first one to say it. Hey, it's me. But when it's not me, when it's truly something else going on, and I know for a fact something else is going on, then I'm not going to apologize for that. But anyway, I just wanted to clarify that in case you guys are watching my previous live stream and you're thinking, oh my God, why is he so upset? Like, why is he in such a shitty ass mood? What's going on? What the hell's happening? Well, now you know. Well, same thing with Brendan. Brendan got hacked as well and all that. So he knows what it's like. I started thinking Edgy Gamer. I'm started thinking Neo Tesla. I'm started thinking all these other guys, like, oh God, like, here we go again. But, you can't assume. See, this is the lesson to be learned. Hey, how you doing? Never Dead Ivy. How you doing, Brendan? Good to see you guys. You can't assume. I mean, yes, it's in our nature. Yeah, of course, to assume. And you should be vigilant. You should be careful. It is internet. It's a crazy world out there, man. You don't know. But at the same time, until you got the evidence, bro, like, chill, right? It's important. Like until you know for a fact, don't say anything unless you know for a fact. So that's the lesson here. That is the lesson to be learned here. Anyway, so I just want to clarify that so that way you guys know what's going on, because I'm pretty sure you will watch that Top Spin live stream and you're probably gonna wonder, scratching your head, like, why is he being such an ass? Why is he being so pissy about it? Is he borderline something, or what the fuck is the deal with this guy? But now you know. So that's explained. So that's out of the way. So now you know. If you watch that previous live stream and you finished it and you're wondering what's going on, when you watch this one, it'll be explained. So anyway, I haven't played my Xbox in about how many months? Since December. That would make it what? December, January, February, March, April. Fuck. Almost 5 months. Almost 5 months. Almost 5 months. Be careful playing Xbox Online. Yeah, I heard about that. But you gotta be careful, period. It's not just the Xbox, you know. It's everything. It's even your Facebook and your Instagram. Everything's on the line. Yeah. But the reason I'm turning on my Xbox, and you guys probably don't know this, but I don't have my Game Pass anymore. I have canceled my Game Pass. I have canceled my Game Pass because I was not using it. I know, me too, man. So, see, I don't have a Game Pass. So what I'm trying to do, I want to see, is it possible for me to play some of these games without a Game Pass? And I don't think I can. I think I'm screwed. Can I play Call of Duty without Anyway, well, let's see. Dude, see, they're gonna force me. They're gonna force me to get the Game Pass now, which is $14. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Mon. Damn it, mon. All right, let me see. So, you know what? Let's have a conversation since we're here. Let's have a conversation about... No, I mean, really. Let's have a conversation about PlayStation and Xbox. What do you... I mean, you guys know where I stand. You guys know how I feel. It's not about me, man, on this live stream. How about you? I want to hear, what do you guys think? From Dustin to Sean to Brendan to Never Dead IV. I want to hear, what do you guys think? You know, and where the future of Xbox and PlayStation really is. Where is it going? Like, where are we going? What kind of like gaming we gonna have from both the green and the blue team in the future? Like, where it's gonna be? Is it gonna be on a cloud, or is it gonna be play it from some kind of an AI cloud and access it from whichever device you want to access it, from a television, from your phone, from your tablet, from your Tesla car, from your whatever you have, right? Is that where we going? Some kind of an AI type shenanigans? Let me see what you guys are saying. Sean Johnson says, I have both. Same thing here, Sean, man. I always been rocking everything, even Nintendo Switch. Let's see what else. Brendan says, I get more versus on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Cloud gaming only. That's a valid point. Dustin says, Helldivers is not forced to be played on PlayStation 5 with the PlayStation N bullshit. Well, that's also a valid point. I'm not too happy about, what Sony did on the Steam. And, why are you forcing people on Steam and the PC to be, forced to access their Helldivers 2 that they purchased from a Steam, that they have to now use their PlayStation Network to play it, which is ridiculous, right? Which means you have to buy a PlayStation Plus. Okay, so that means, let's say you don't have a PlayStation. Let's say you have a PC and you gaming on a PC and everything's on the Steam, right? All of your stuff, it's on the Steam. So now you're going to force people who are PC gamers on the Steam to buy a PlayStation and a PlayStation Plus just so they can play Helldivers 2. You know what's going to happen, Sony? You're going to have a juggernauts of refunds. And Steam has every right to give the refunds to those who want it. Because now you forcing them to use a PSN and PlayStation Plus membership, which, you see, that's the trick thing. You see, that's the trick here. They're forcing the PC players. Oh, forgot to tell you. Oh, sound like a Christopher Walken. Oh, now you're going to have to get the PlayStation Plus. And you have to pay, $18 for PlayStation Plus, which it's fine if you're going to be using a PlayStation. That's fine. But if I'm using only PC, like, why are you forcing me now and my friends to go ahead and purchase a PlayStation Plus just to play Helldivers 2? So I'm not happy about that. I'm not really thrilled about that. Let's see what people are saying. Sean Johnson says, we know that already he's talking consoles. Yeah, I'm already talking consoles. It's clearly. Just reading the title, oh my God. It's a very clickbait, and I'm not shying away from being a clickbait. It is a clickbait. Clearly it is. And it says OMG, oh my God. So I'm not going to beat around the bush. It is a clickbait. And it's clear as the day. But it's also something I really needed to know to get the mindset of you guys. Like, how do you feel? Because I've been thinking about it, man, past few days. It's like, is this ever going to end? Is this war between the blue team and the green team that's been around since, how long has it been, man? 20 years? Feels like 20 years. Yeah, it's been around 20 years now. Like, when is this going to, really, tone down? Let's see. I see mainly making systems only. Dead Ivy says, I would like to see cloud gaming be improved and lag-free in the future. I think that's going to happen. I think that will happen for sure. For sure, I can see that happening. I see PlayStation only making system futures. Okay. Right now, cloud gaming is not where it is, Dead Ivy says, so we can't just rely on that until the bumps in the road get smoothed out. You guys are making some valid points, so I have a feeling that you guys are like, let me have all of the above. It's kind of like, what would you like to have? Would you like to have a quarter of a pound, or or just a double stacker or whatever? Just give me all of the above, right? Give me both burgers, not just one. Give me both of them. You know what? Throw in that chicken nuggets as well. Might as well try the chicken nuggets. There's the new ones. Okay, let me have them. So I think you guys are telling me basically that you're like, hey man, let's try everything. But where do you find yourself? Let me ask you this. But where do you find yourself playing the most? See, that's the question that I really want to ask. Where do you guys find yourself playing the most? Is it the Xbox? Is it the PlayStation? Where do you guys find yourself playing the most? That's what I would like to know. I mean, that's really my whole thing here. I would not be surprised if cloud gaming ends up like a VR and fades in and out every once in a while. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I keep telling myself 2030. Everything's going to be cloud. And don't get me wrong, AI, artificial intelligence, and the cloud will improve. There's no question about that, Dead IV. It's already improving in such a rapid speeds, right? But how is that going to look like? You see, we don't know how is it going to manifest. We all know that there will be some sort of a cloud choice, which there is right now. And we all know that the AI, as much as I hate AI, I'm not a huge fan of AI because it's scary. I know it's going to evolve. I know that the artificial intelligence, it's evolving every month, every year. and it's only going to get bigger and bigger and smarter and smarter and better and better. So my question is, what's it going to manifest into? How is it going to look like by 2030? What the video gaming industry going to be by 2030? That's like my question. Where are we going to be by 2030? Dustin D says, I'm watching mostly YouTube. You know what, Dustin? That's an you know what? That's a very interesting point. Technically, you could actually save all the money in the world by not buying any consoles, not even building a PC, just watching YouTube on your whatever television, and watching people play video games, or watching the walkthroughs and playthroughs, and just watch video games on YouTube or on the Twitch or on whatever, on the kick.com, right? You name it. So technically, you could actually just watch other people play. But there's a major difference there, Dustin, when you got the controller in your hands and you are playing the game versus you watching someone else play. You know, there's a major difference there. But I understand what you mean. I totally get that. It says I need to buy it. What? Hold on. I think I have to restart my console. Yeah, I'll restart it. I think it needs a bunch of updates. I think the Xbox hasn't been turned on for, what, 5 months? It needs probably truckload of updates. Brenda says, I see it in 2035. Could be. Who knows? Maybe even Google might come back. Maybe even Stadia might come back by 2035. We don't know, right? Play Trepping 2. Trepping 2. I don't think I can play Trepping 2 because I canceled my Game Pass. See, that's the thing. And I'm trying to see what can I play without the Game Pass. Am I forced to play even Forza Motorsport without the Game Pass, even though I purchased it? So it's one of those things, you know, I'm like, let's see, what can I do? See, I don't have a Game Pass. I need to free up some space. All right, what I'm gonna free up? All right, let's see. What am I gonna remove? I need to remove something. All right, Skull and Bones, you gotta go. I'll be honest, man. Skull and Bones, man, I was so disappointed. It's not what I was hoping it to be. I was really expecting Skull and Bones to be like an open world, do what you want to do, walk wherever you want to walk, visit whatever island you want to visit. But unfortunately, it's not that type of a game. So remove it. Oh, it's not on Game Pass. The game costs $30. You see, Martin, I'm really tight on the money right now. I'm unemployed, and right now every penny means everything to me. So I would rather pay $14 for a Game Pass versus me paying $30 for something I can't even afford. You know, it sucks, man. I know this might be weird for some people, but when you are without a job and you can find a job, and you know, and whatever savings you have, it's slowly coming down, like almost melting down. You are like, dude, I had to sell shit, man. I've been selling shit on eBay and other places and moms and pop shops, you know, private shops here and there. So when you're tight, you know, on money, and it becomes very difficult. I only own 2 Xbox platforms, the original Xbox and 360 that I refused to buy, another Xbox after the Ring of Death, and replacement 360 and a smaller hard drive. But you know what? Xbox 360 was so good that I really didn't mind buying a new 360, even though I had a red Ring of Death. Even though I had I remember in 2008, 2009 when the Modern Warfare 2 came out, dude. I bought the special edition Modern Warfare 2 twice, even though I knew that there's a possibility I might get red Ring of Death. But the Xbox 360 was so good back then that I didn't care that it had red Ring of Death. And the Xbox Live was so advanced, it was so good that it didn't matter that there was a red Ring of Death. And then finally, Xbox 360 Elite with 128 gigabyte came out, and they fixed that. The cooling, everything was fixed. So we didn't have to worry about it overheating. We didn't have to worry about the red Ring of Death. That was fixed as far as I remember. I think I still have the Xbox 360, the Elite, with 128 gigabyte hard drive. And that was a pretty big deal back then. I think I still have it, man. I know there's the Xbox 360 Slim, but I never bought. I think I might have bought that with a Kinect, and then I traded it in and got something else. Oh, I've done security. I've done a lot of different security jobs. I've done the contract security. I've done all kinds of stuff. Well, I'm straight up, but the thing is, what are they going to pay you? Is they going to put you just fill in for one day, or are you going to be a floater for just 2 days? It's kind of like, you know what I mean? After the taxes, what are they going to give you? They give you some peanut money. You know what I mean? It's like I have to weigh in the options, Have I ever played the Man Eater? Well, the thing is, nothing is knocking on my door, man. See, that's the problem. None of them are calling me, even though I told them I'm available. I can work any hours, and et cetera, et cetera. But none of them are calling. And then they have you go through all these, background checks and blood tests and all this other stuff, which is fine. They want to make sure that you're not under any substance and all that stuff. But it's just a long, long process of just, waiting and waiting and waiting. And I understand, man, I'm not the only geezer looking for a job. There's a lot of people out there looking for a job. So, I get it. But eventually I'll find something, man. I have to be patient. I have to be, persistent, and that's it. You're selling your soul for GTA 6 and PS5 Pro. I think we're all going to be selling our souls to GTA 6 when it comes out. This is a long update for Forza Motorsport. I guess we could try maybe play some Flight Simulator, huh? See if that works. I'm sure there's going to be an update for that too. Oh yeah, Microsoft Flight Simulator needs an update. Oh lord. Oh lord, they all need an update. Can we have a console that runs everything from a disk without any updates? So I don't know. Which one should I put on pause? I'm going to pause this one. I'm going to try this one and update this one. Let's try it. Now, for some reason, it won't let me do it. It wants to update to Forza Motorsport. Oh, there we go. What about? Oh yeah, I cannot play a cloud either because I don't have it. I don't have the Game Pass. So what can you do without the Game Pass? I mean, that's the can I play Call of Duty without the Game Pass? But here's the problem. Even even if I play Call of Duty, doesn't it require an Xbox Live? Don't you need an Xbox Live for Call of Duty? I'm pretty sure it does. So what can I play, dude? Oh my god. Absolutely nothing. Let me see. Oh, you can't play a flight simulator without the Game Pass? Are you kidding me? No shit, huh? Oh, that's wonderful. Let's see. Join the Game Pass. I don't have the Game Pass. I don't have the Game Pass. Ah, man, oh man. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some security jobs, but they're too far, dude. They're like in a different county, man. I'm not gonna drive, 5 hours, 6 hours. I would have to relocate. I would have to move. Um, that's another problem. What's available that's in your area? Like, you don't want to drive somewhere that it is going to pay you peanut money, right? Some part-time thing, and you're wasting your gas. You're screwing your car by just going there, and you're most likely going to be late because it's too damn far. So it's the circumstances that I'm in right now are very complex. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to explain to people. It's a very complex circumstances, and but listen, man, I'm optimistic. Something will turn out. I'm sure something will pop. Something will pop. Something will pop out on the horizon. All right, so the Microsoft Flight Simulator is updating. We're gonna wait for the updates to finish on the flight simulator, and then we can still talk. Um, Look, I knew this was gonna happen because it's been 5 months. 5 months since I turned on my Xbox console. So that's 5 months. It's a long time. I'm not much of a landscaper, dude. See, I gotta have you gotta have what you call it, an experience. They're not gonna hire somebody who doesn't have any experience landscaping. No one's gonna waste their time on that, training you in this, and that. They want somebody who already has a prior experience. Unless you got a hookup, unless you know somebody, and that somebody says, "Hey, man, can you do me a favor? Can you help my, friend so and so? Train him a little bit, show him around, and put him in there to work." There's that too. It's not what you know; it's who you know. Friends with benefits. There's that too. There's all of those things, and right now I'm lacking on all those fields. I don't have the luxury of those types of friends that have hookups to hook me up. I don't have that type of luxury, so there's that too. There's all of these things you have to consider, and I'm being realistic. It's a one thing to wish and have these, false hopes on, oh, this will work out or that will work out. But you're also trying to be realistic. All right, all I can do is this. And if this doesn't work, then I'm going to plan B. And if the plan B doesn't work, well, then I'm going to plan C. And if the plan D and E and F and G and H doesn't work, well, then I got to do what I got to do. Then I got to think about where I'm going to go, which state, where I'm going to move, look something else elsewhere. But I'm not at that point yet. I'm not there yet, but it's in the back of my mind. I know I could easily be at that point. But we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? People been asking me about the YouTube, and like, you've been doing YouTube for 10 years. How is it possible that you've been doing YouTube for this long, and you got this many, people watching you, following you, and all this other shit? How is it possible that you haven't excelled and exceeded? Well, there's a few things. When I started doing televisions, majority of people out there, that's what they wanted. They wanted to see that. And I understand that that's where the algorithm is. They just want to see that. Me doing televisions, talking about the HDR and tone mapping and, peak brightness and what type of television it is, what type of, technology is it using on the panel, et cetera, right? And then, my personal preset settings that I put out there. And that's what people wanted to see. I get that. But the problem is I couldn't do that because I just didn't have that financial means to do it. And LG, didn't want to be a partner with me, so that kind of hurt. That kind of was like a kick in the nuts. So once the LG dropped me, it was like, well, where do I go from here? So then I started doing podcasts with me, Brendan, Anthony, and Cameron, and other people. We started doing podcasts, and that was going okay for a while. But the problem with the podcast is it's easily demonetized because YouTube doesn't like conversations like that, and you got to be kind of walking on an eggshells on what you say, what the conversation is, what the subject is, and you got to be super careful on what you say, because the things you say will not be suitable for the advertisers, and therefore it's not going to be suitable for your partners, and you're going to get demonetized. And when you get demonetized, guess what? You drop down from the algorithm. And when you drop down from the algorithm, well, that's where the whole thing kind of hit the fan. That's where the shit hit the fan. Once I dropped down into the abyss from the algorithm. So right now I'm in the abyss. Way down at the bottom of the abyss, and the algorithm is like another galaxy so far away from me. I'm super far away from the algorithm. So that's the problem right now for me, and that's why I'm having difficult time getting anything going on the YouTube, because I'm way down below, way down at the bottom of the pit, and that's one of the issues for me right now regarding YouTube. And that's why I'm frozen at the 47,000 subscribers, and it's not moving, and it's not going anywhere, because I'm at the abyss. It's almost like I'm buried, like a Titanic. I'm like down at the bottom. I need James Cameron to come down, and just, with his submersible, whatever, submarine, whatever he has, the deep dive submarine, to check me, to see how am I doing. I'm like at the bottom of the Titanic. So that's pretty much where I'm at. And that's why the YouTube is just, it's just what it is, man. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. I'm doing good, Steve. I'm doing good. We were just talking about, looking for a job and things like that, and the economy and all that. We're talking about the Xbox and PlayStation, and we're talking about the video games in general. But mainly it's the subject is, where do we see video games? Where do we see Xbox and PlayStation? Where do we see them going? How is it going to look like with the Xbox Series X2 and the PlayStation 5 Pro, which I'm pretty sure we'll hear the announcements sometime this summer, probably next month. I think June we'll hear something. Probably by the end of this month, we might hear something about the PlayStation 5 Pro and how is it going to look like and all that. And some more info on the PS5 Pro. And then possible release date, maybe November. I'm probably guessing November. And then in June, I think we'll hear from the Xbox, from Phil Spencer, They'll have their own, show, and we'll hear about the Xbox Series X2. What's that going to look like? Is it going to look like Nintendo VU, where it's going to have its own handheld device when you're not using your console? You can put it on a standby mode, and you can go ahead and switch back to your handheld device and start playing, kind of like a PlayStation Portal. There's talk about that, where that's what the Xbox is going for. So these are all like possibilities that might happen. We don't know for sure, but it's possibilities. So that's coming out. I probably think June. I think this month, by the end of May, before Memorial Day, we'll hear about the PS5 Pro. And then next month, June, we'll hear about the Xbox Series X2 and what's that going to be like. So it'll be an interesting year. It's going to be an interesting year, especially this summer, once we get more details on both of these consoles, and then we'll have a better understanding where PS6 going to be, where Xbox 2, whatever they call it, Xbox 2 will be by 2030, 2035, who knows. So it's going to be an interesting summer, to say the least. But I could be wrong. I don't know, man. I don't have a crystal ball. Who knows which way it's going to go, man. This whole thing, it's so unpredictable. It is so unpredictable. We really don't know where is it going to go, man. Also, you always have at least one or two of those fan bases of other TV viewers coming on random YouTube channels to fight with somebody over their personal opinion on TV settings, like a cult. Well, that was another issue. Never Dead IV. That was another problem that I encounter. It was it was too toxic. It was too much toxic stuff going on. We're not going to mention any names. We're not going to put any names out there. But it was too much of toxic stuff happening in a television, especially after I started 2016, especially 2017, like right in between 2017, mid 2017. That's where all this toxic crap started coming in, and of course 2018 we just went full blast of toxic crap going in there. It was really, really sad to see that, like people can't even have their own opinion, right? About certain televisions, about their own settings that they're using, about settings that they're sharing with other people. I always said to people, if you don't like my settings, you don't have to use them, but they're free. They're out there. If you feel that, hey, you shouldn't be using my settings, well, you don't have to use them. It's not like somebody's forcing you to use them, but it's just toxic, man. And that was another reason, but that wasn't really the reason that I quit that. I can handle the trolls, man. You guys should know that I'm a specialist. I'm like a Dr. Phil handling the trolls. I've been dealing this for a long time. Okay, I know all their tricks, all their, everything they do. I know how they think and what their strategy is and all that shit. I've been there, done that. I have a lot of experience on that. It's not because of that. I can handle it, man. I have a thick skin. I can handle, conversations and debates and all that crap. You guys know that. Even though in some cases it went too far. But that wasn't the reason. The main reason I quit the televisions, it's because LG dropped me. And they didn't tell me why they dropped me. I'm still grateful for LG that they gave me a television. I don't know why they dropped me. Maybe because of all the toxic crap that's surrounding my channel. And again, we're not going to mention names. You know who they are. We're not going to put it out there. We're not going to mention names, but you know who they are. And I think LG didn't want to be associated with that. They didn't feel comfortable, which I understand. They're a big brand. They don't want to be associated with that kind of like toxic crap because they were attached to me. You got to remember something. These trolls and these, fanboys of quantum dots, LEDs, Samsung versus LG, LG versus Sony and Samsung. These guys were always attached to me, one way or the other, and they were always following me. Wherever I go, they would follow me, and they would, inject their crap. And they were coming from different camps. Like I said, I don't want to mention any names. You know who they are, and from which camp they were coming from. All right, I don't need to emphasize on that because you already know that. But that wasn't the reason. My main reason is that I just didn't have a sponsor. If I had a sponsor, that would dude, I would do it today in a heartbeat. I would do it in a heartbeat. I would do it in a heartbeat. I would come back to the television in a heartbeat if I would get like a sponsor from some company, electronic company, that would send me a television every 15 days for me to review, send it back, review, send it back. I would do it in a heartbeat, man. I would, thoroughly check everything, and I would do live streams where you can ask me questions about the TV, anything you want to know about the TV. I would do that in a heartbeat. But, they're not knocking on my door and they're not asking me, hey, would you like to sign up with us? Would you like to become a partner? Because of obviously my past and toxic shit that has happened. That's the big stain that I have to carry with me. That's the big stain that's hard to wash out, man. It sticks. When it sticks, it sticks. And, so there's that. And then, big companies, even the small companies, they don't like that. They want to stay away from that. So. Thank you, Stel. Well, the Never Dead Ivy, it's the lesson learned. That's the lesson I learned. See, even I took the bait. See, he's not the only one that took the bait. I took the bait. You see, I took that bait, hook, line, and sinker, and I only got myself to blame for that. And because of that, because I couldn't control my ego and I needed to go in there and jump in that mud of toxic crap to argue the nonsense, I paid a heavy price by losing the LG. And losing the LG was a huge blow for me, man. It really sucked. It really sucked. Imagine where I would be right now if LG was a big sponsor of mine, dude. Oof. The amount of different types of LG models I would be testing, monitors, TVs, you name it, man. Their laser projectors, etc., etc. But I screwed that up. I screwed that up because I took the bait, and that's all it took, man. Hook, line, and sinker. They got me. I should have been a barracuda, man. I should have been a barracuda in the sea. I should have just... Because you know how fast the barracuda is? You know how super fast barracuda is and how difficult it is to catch a barracuda when it's in the sea. And I should have been a barracuda. But no, I was just one of the stupid fat fish. Going in, and I think I was like a great white shark. That's what I was. I just took the bait and whatever. Whatever you throw, I'm like trying to, jaw on there and just... But anyway, it is what it is, man. Lesson learned. I learned a great lesson from that. The great lesson is you don't argue, man. Especially when you have a sponsor. You got to be on the eggshells, man. You got to learn how to choose your battles, man. Don't let other people set you up with their battles, and people will try to set you up because they have not good intent for you. They're jealous and they want to see you fall down. They want to see you suffer in whatever kind of malicious, weird ass way. Unfortunately, there's that too. So the lesson learned is don't go into that mud. And my advice to everybody is don't argue, man. Just ignore it. Let it go. Look what happened with, with my friend Brandon, when you start arguing with these people, we're not going to mention their names. That's what they do, man. They go to Discords. They go here. They go there. They use their fake emails. They use their disposable emails, and they start going through Discord and Reddit, and they start, bringing everybody in to go against you, to set you up, to see if you're going to take the hook, line, and sinker, to poke you a little bit to see what sticks, what doesn't stick, what gets you thick, what gets you weak, what makes you angry, this and this and that. And if you obviously fall for that shit, well, then you're gonna fail. Xbox for life. Well, we know where you're gonna be playing when you're 90 years old. Do you think 8K will take over? I mean, let's take a look at 4K. Dude, I've been doing 4K content since 2016. And look where we are, dude. We still have programs that are running at 1080p. Or in some instances, broadcasts are running at 1080i. Now, granted, the streaming has gotten really good, right? The streaming like Netflix and Amazon Prime has gotten really good with the 4K and Dolby Vision, right? But look how long it took. Look how long it took for 4K to take off. And look at the video games. We're still struggling to get certain games to run at native 4K 60. Look at Hellblade 2. It's only 4K 30. So look how long it took for 8.3 million pixels to take off. Took about 8 years. Well, let's put 10 years, give or take 10 years. So where does the 33 million pixels comes in, which is the 8K? 2035? I don't know. It's a wild guess. I mean, it's really hard to tell, man. I don't know. Well, what do you guys think? I just don't see it, man. I think 8K will eventually happen, but the question is when. And when that's going to be. By 2035? Is it going to be affordable? I think it will happen eventually, but we're probably talking another 10 years, man. Not another 10 years. Till like officially, like you get all the programs in 8K, everything's 8K, all your video games 8K, cloud streaming 8K, everything's 8K, 33 million pixels. You can't even find a 4K television. Everything's a 8K television. We're probably looking at another 10 years or so. 10 years or so. Possibly. Never Dead Ivy says, oh yeah, speaking of 8K, has anyone ever figured out why Sony printed 8K on the PlayStation 5 boxes? That's a good question. I actually brought that up when I finally got my PlayStation 5 in 2020 from the StockX. I said, well, what's for the 8K? I guess what they were saying is that you can connect it to your 8K television. And whatever resolution source is will upscale. But you know what, Sony? Everybody knows that. I can plug in a calculator to an 8K television, and the television will, fill in that calculator source resolution to fill in the 33 million pixels. Television will upscale no matter what it is. If you got an 8K television, you can plug in whatever. It's going to automatically upscale to fit that canvas of 33 million pixels. The difference is, how is they going to look like? Is it going to look shitty? Is it going to look very muddy? Is it going to look very foggy? Is it going to look very dull and soft image? Is it going to be a soft image, right? The idea is to have something scale to near 33 million pixels, right? Through different AI upscaling that will reach to that close to 33 million pixels. So that way you got a really good source and really good upscale to give you that 8K resolution. Native 8K, forget about it. Just, okay, don't even dream. I'm just going to say this right now. Don't even dream about native 8K video gaming. Don't even dream about it, man. It ain't happening. It's not going to happen. Maybe, like I said, 10 years from now, maybe native 8K 30 or something like that. It's just too much, guys. You got to remember, man, it's just too much. You know, these engines like Unreal Engine, there's DirectX 13, Unreal Engine, they're so complex. They're so complex. There's so many running parts underneath the hood. And on top of that, you're trying to put HDR, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, and on top of that, you're trying to scale it to 33 million pixels at what? 60 frames per second? I don't think people realize, man, just what kind of sheer power it takes just to move that around. What kind of sheer computing power it takes. Unless we're talking some ridiculous quantum speed processing. Okay, if we're talking quantum speed processing, which I'm pretty sure eventually will happen, yeah, then you can do 8K, 12K, 60 FPS, no issues. But how do you keep that cool? How do you cool those chips? See, this is all like in development, and we really don't know how this is going to play out 10 years from now, right? We really don't know which way it's going to go. I think 1620, it's a sweet spot. That should be standard, some 4K. Yeah. Listen, even on a Scorpio, on a Project Scorpio, which I'm currently in the process of selling, I'm looking for a buyer. Even the Project Scorpio, 1600p was perfect. Because you got to remember, 1600p source, that's a pretty good detail. That will scale to 4K. And you're going to have a really good 4K image versus something that's a 1440p or 1080p. When you put 1080p source and then scale it to 4K, it's still going to look soft. It's not going to look sharp. And you can see that. I actually was able to see that difference, right? Even Digital Foundry will tell you they can see it, right? Versus something that's scaling to, like, let's say source resolution of 1600p and then reaching to fill in those 8.3 million pixels with that 1600p. That 1600p source resolution will scale to fill in those 8.3 million pixels much better, and it's going to look much sharper than you trying to scale 1080p source to 4K. So I agree with you on that. Never Dead IV. It was a sweet spot. You know what? And Xbox has been using it on a Project Scorpio. No, Project Scorpio was a good console, man. You know, I think a lot of people don't give credit to Project Scorpio. The price was right. The 4K UHD Blu-ray inside. 6 teraflops, right? Was it 6 teraflops? Yeah, 6 teraflops. It's still a good console. You throw in an SSD in there if you can. Throw in an SSD. I think there's a way to modify an SSD. I heard some people, they're able to do it, modify an SSD. Dude, Project Scorpio is still a good console. It's a 4K machine. It's a 4K machine. It was running. Okay, let me give you one example. And I'm surprised how many people have forgotten this. And I'm going to try to refresh people's memories. In 2018, in October 2018, when the juggernaut of Rockstar Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, right? Guess what? Red Dead Redemption 2 on Project Scorpio, Xbox One X, was running in native 4K 30 FPS. My friends, that was a huge achievement for that console. To be running such a complex game at that time in 2018 as Red Dead Redemption 2 in native 4K, 30 FPS. That was a huge leap forward for the Project Scorpio. And then we had Far Cry 5 running in native 4K. Far Cry 5 running in native 4K. So I think people don't give Project Scorpio enough credit as a 4K machine. I don't think Project Scorpio got enough credit for what he was able to achieve. People forget that. People, even I forget sometimes, but you have to refresh your memory. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. It did actually run that very complex game, Red Dead Redemption 2, native 4K. And even Far Cry 5 was very complex. Was running in a native 4K. So there's that too. What's up, Martin? You just watched The Aliens in 4K on It's Amazing. Yeah, I need to watch that special edition remastered version. There's The Abyss in 4K that I need to watch as well. The Abyss and The Aliens. So finally, James Cameron is releasing the Abyss and The Aliens in 4K, and dude, I can't wait. I love those two movies, The Abyss and Aliens. Hey, OG Majestic Lion, how are you, man? I'm doing all right, man. Just one day at a time, brother. One day at a time. Listen, man, I have learned to, Bob De Niro said, Bob De Niro reminds me of my father. He really does, man. He kind of looks like my father, believe it or not. Like Robert De Niro definitely has like a younger version of Bob De Niro. I'm talking. He says on one of the interviews, he said, regardless how you might feel about Bob De Niro and politics and all this bullshit, right? Just put that aside. What he said was so true. On one of the interviews around the table, it was like a Hollywood Reporter or whatever, where he says, when you think you got it, when you think everything's going great, just stay calm. Just stay calm. I've seen people come and go. I've seen people rise and fall. Just don't take nothing for granted. Stay calm. And that's really what I'm doing, man. I'm just at the point in my life where I'm like taking it one day at a time, man. I can't be freaking out, having anxiety, thinking about this, thinking about that, or Jesus, this and that. And that's all it's going to do is freak me out, put me in some kind of anxiety shit. And it's not going to really do me any favors. Anything out there that doesn't do you any favors, especially something you can't control, like why even get in there? Like why even worry about that too much? You know what I mean? Dimitri says Xbox One X is the best console in history. Well, I don't know about that statement, Dimitri, but I would say it was definitely a great upgrade from Xbox One S. It was a huge, tremendous, behemoth leap forward from the Xbox One S. And I'm talking about the old Xbox One S where I started my channel, Dimitri. The one where I started my channel in 2016. That console really has been a great luck to me, man. People forget I started my channel with the Xbox. People need to go back to 2016. Type in Mr. 4K Upscaler 2016. People forget this. I tried to remind people that this bozo over here started his channel in 2016 with a Vizio 4K television and Xbox One S Madden 2016 bundle. Bought it in August of 2016. My channel took off in September. I couldn't believe the views I was getting. I was getting like so many views, like holy shit. 16,000 in just a few days, and then 50,000 in 1 week, 100,000 in a couple of weeks, 150,000 in 3 weeks, and then 250,000 in 1 month. So that's where I really kind of kicked off my channel. So Xbox One S was great step forward for 4K, right? And then obviously PlayStation 4 Pro came out, and Xbox needed to counter the competition of PlayStation 4 Pro. So they decided, hey, let's release Xbox One X Project Scorpio edition. And long and behold, 2017, November 7th, 2017, Xbox One X was released. I'm glad you guys remember this. I know it's been a long time. Listen, man, I know it's been a long time, but I'm glad you guys remember this stuff. At least Xbox gets starved. Do you think PlayStation 5 will get it? You know, me and Cameron, we're talking about this. He believes that all of the games will be on a PlayStation. And there's that possibility. But I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, it's like there will be certain games on from Xbox on PlayStation for sure. But are we going to see Halo? Are we going to see Horizon? Are we going to see Forza Motorsport? Those are big heavy hitters. Are we going to see Gears of War? Starfield, there's a good... Here's what I want to say. Just hear me out. Microsoft Studios, like Halo and Forza and Gears, you got to remember, man, that's a crown jewel of Xbox. You know, Bethesda is just a partner. So yes, Starfield, there's a good possibility you will see Starfield, because Starfield, I look at it as like a limited time only exclusive to first couple of years on Xbox, right? And then by 2025, you'll probably see it on the PlayStation, because it's Bethesda. You know, these are partners. You know, Bethesda, it's not Microsoft. It's just a partner with the Microsoft. And yeah, there's this one exclusive game called Starfield, and I know there's Indiana Jones coming, but I don't think we'll see Forza Horizon. I don't think we'll see Forza Motorsport. I don't think we'll see Halo. I don't think we'll see Gears. Those titles, I don't think you'll see on Sony. Now, this is my opinion. This is just my opinion, and I know everybody's entitled to their opinion, but in my opinion, I don't think we'll see that. That's my honest, humble opinion. You know, trying to understand like the mind of Phil Spencer and what he's thinking. But I don't think he wants to bet all of his chips in one pot. I think he's still thinking, all right, we got to have some crown jewels to keep the Xbox spirit for the next coming consoles, right? We need Gears 6 to promote Xbox Series X too, right? We need a new Forza Horizon to promote Xbox Series X2. Microsoft Flight Simulator, I don't think we'll see that on PlayStation 5, because that is the Microsoft Studio, the word Microsoft, right? Rare is different. I know people are looking at Sea of Thieves. Well, Sea of Thieves is rare, right? Rare. They're still third party, even though they have partners. They're part of the Microsoft Studio. I get that, but that's the one exception. But I don't see, like, I was thinking about this honestly yesterday. You know, I was like all in. I was like, maybe it will happen, but I don't know, man. I'm really like, when I think about it right now today, I'm like, I don't know, man. It doesn't make any logical. I mean, let's think about it logically. All right. Why would I want you to subscribe to PlayStation Plus? To play Flight Simulator there, to play Forza Motorsport there, to play Gears there, to play Forza Horizon there. Why would I want to do that? That wouldn't make any logical business perspective, from that business perspective mindset. It wouldn't make any sense. So I don't think that's gonna happen, guys. I just that's just a wishful thinking on the Sony side. I don't think that's gonna happen. No, those are the crown jewels. Halo, Gears, Forza, Flight Simulator. Those four, you can't touch that. That's part of the Microsoft. That's part of the Xbox, and I don't think that can be touched. Let's see what else we got. I would like to see the love that went into the level design of games like Dark Forces be put into modern games. Young Guns says 585, Bethesda is Xbox, not partner. I know they signed a contract deal, but how long? But once the contract goes, right? Once the contract deal of that merger, it expires. But see, we don't know what's on the contract, Young Gun, or Young Gunna 585. You see, we don't know the fine print on that contract because it's behind the closed doors. We don't know what kind of contract Todd Howard signed with Phil Spencer with Microsoft. We do not know that. So I know that currently Bethesda, sure, it's making games for Xbox, which is good. They're making Indiana Jones. They already made Redfield and Starfield. And there will be Skyrim. See, the question is about the Skyrim, not Skyrim, the Elder Scroll 6. Elder Scroll 6, that's the question. Is it going to be, that would be a big deal. Like Elder Scrolls 6 being exclusive to the Xbox, that's a huge advantage to the Game Pass. That's a huge advantage to the Xbox. But you see, we do not know what type of contract Todd Howard signed with Phil Spencer. We just don't know. I know it's what, $7 billion or something like that, but we don't know. But for right now, yes, you are correct. They are making games for Xbox. Clearly, they are. But we don't know, like the Elder Scroll 6. If it's exclusive to the Xbox, that's a big deal. Listen, that is a huge deal if the Elder Scroll 6 becomes exclusive to Xbox only. That is a huge blow to Sony, man. I'm not going to lie. That will be a huge blow to Sony if that's the case. You can play a Fallout 4 on a PlayStation 5. It's actually part of PlayStation Plus. You can play Fallout 4. There's like a patch update. So you can play Fallout 4 on the PlayStation 5. You can still play it. So I don't know. Like, look at Call of Duty. That's another question. Call of Duty, it's something that I don't think will ever be exclusive to Xbox. Man, but see that's the issue. You see, guys, this is the problem. We're just guessing. We don't know what's being done behind the closed doors. And I think this is the important part everybody needs to remember. We do not know what type of contract they have signed legally with their lawyers and this and that. We don't know any of that stuff behind the closed doors. You know, the merger, the partnership, the Activision, partnership, exclusivity with the Xbox, and how's that going to look, et cetera, right? So there's so much that we don't know. And clearly, Phil Spencer is not going to tell us because he can't tell us. Legally, he cannot tell us what type of a contract he has signed with the, Bethesda and other studios and what you call it, Activision, So we don't know. Blizzard acquisition of Blizzard and Activision. We don't know. I know they had a lot of legality. They had a lot of stuff they had to go through in courts regarding that. So the thing is, we really don't know, you know. I could never get into modern Call of Duty. It's way too copy and paste. I love Battlefield because it's not a copy and paste franchise. They actually take their time to develop the Battlefield games. Well, in the Battlefield games, you're going to have a hard time, you know, getting a quick kill. In Call of Duty, there's so many ways you can get a quick kill. There's so many ways you can, you know, upgrade and use the perks and just, you know. Let's be realistic. Call of Duty, it's not like... Call of Duty is like some kind of fantasy casino type first-person shooter multiplayer game. It's turned into like some kind of a casino, like a bingo or some shit. Like you're playing bingo or you win bingo tonight, whatever. You're going to get some of these accolades. You're going to get some of these attributes and use those attributes to, right, to earn these points. There they are right there. There they are. The microtransactions, right? So I look at Call of Duty as just like that type of a game. Battlefield's a little bit different, though. Battlefield is different. You're right about that. Battlefield definitely has a different feel to it. And I think in 3 years now, Battlefield has really advanced. EA and DICE, I think they have learned their lessons from the feedback, and they have listened. Look, it's better late than never, so Battlefield has definitely has moved into a... You know what? I need to start playing Battlefield. Thank you for reminding me. Jesus Christ. I've been so stuck on Call of Duty, man. I need to jump in Battlefield. Thank you for reminding me. Jesus. Yeah. I might actually jump into Battlefield. But right now I'm currently playing that other game, Stellar Blade. I got to finish Stellar Blade. And I don't know if I want to stream Stellar Blade, because I don't think people want to watch Stellar Blade because they want to experience the game for themselves. So I think I understand that. Wow, look at these updates, man. This is what happens when you haven't turned on your Xbox for 5 months. 5 months, OG, bro. And I forgot that I have my Elite, bro. That I have my Elite controller, dude. I have 2 of these bad boys. I didn't realize I have him. I was like, what? I was like, let me dust off this thing, man. Let me get a duster. I was like, oh shit, there it is. That's what I heard. I heard it from my friend. He told me the same thing you telling me right now, that it has improved in such a ways that it's more enjoyable now. It's more balanced. That's what he says. It's more balanced. It's more cleaned up. It's more filtered out, you know, where you don't see a lot of hackers, a lot of cheaters and shit like that, where it's more like balanced, and now you get to enjoy it. And it's more fun. But I'm going to jump into it for sure. There's no question about that. Look at the Microsoft Flight Simulator, OG. Microsoft Flight Simulator, dude. I haven't touched my Microsoft Flight Simulator in 5 months, dude. God knows how many updates I have to go through. So anyway, what I'm getting from this conversation, from reading the chat, I get it. There's always going to be hardcore fanboys for one team, blue team, green team, Nintendo, red team, and let's put yellow flag for the PC Master Race. But what I'm also getting at is that people are buying everything, which is good. I think what I'm getting at here is that a lot of you, yes, you have your preference, clearly, and you know, it's just a human nature for you to have a preference, and that's fine. But you still own a variety of different consoles. That's what I'm getting at. I see a lot of people now with Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. and a Nintendo Switch and a PC. So I see a lot of people with Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and a PC. Whatever PC, desktop, laptop, doesn't matter. You have a PC. So that's good. That is good, actually. Because back in the days, it was just, hey, I only have a PlayStation 3. I only have Xbox 360, right? I only have a Nintendo Wii U or Nintendo V, right? But things have changed a bit, man. It's not just from this conversation that I'm having with you guys, but also from what I have seen watching other YouTubers, right? I go in and I'll sometimes watch other YouTubers and watch their live streams and to see what they're playing, what they're doing. And what I have realized is that a lot of people are now owning all of the above, which is good. And I think that's how it should be. As a gamer, as somebody who invests into this hobby, right? I think you should enjoy all of the above. But I understand the preference. Let's not use the word fanboy, right? That thing's been thrown around way too much. And I'm guilty of it as well, using that word. Let's use the word preference. Preference. Everyone has a preference, and that's okay. You could have Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, PC. Maybe your preference is PC. Maybe your preference is PlayStation. Maybe your preference is Xbox. It doesn't mean you're not going to play a PlayStation. You will when there's a certain games you want to play, like Wolverine, whatnot, or The Last of Us Part 3. But at the same time, you have a preference, and your preference is Xbox. That's where your friends are, right? That's where you hang out with your buddies, right? Play those games in the Xbox, right? So it's okay to have a preference, man. I get that. Or your preference is Steam, right? You got a lot of friends on Steam, right? You look at Angry Joe. Angry Joe preference is Steam. He loves Steam. I mean, the guy has like infinite numbers of games on Steam. When you watch Angry Joe, and I think I watch Angry Joe regularly, dude. People didn't know this about me, but I watch Angry Joe and his friends, all three of them, like righteously, dude. Righteously. I never comment. I never say anything because I don't want to be out there in a spotlight. So I just enjoy watching them play, watching them have a good time. But I do watch Angry Joe and other of his friends playing. Martin says, is Starfield good? I can't play it, as it's obvious I have a PS5. Starfield is a mixed bag. It's not a bad game, but it's not what it was promising to be. We were promised this open star system. Go whatever you want to go. Do whatever you want to do. But once the game was released, we have found out it's a linear go wherever you want to go. And it doesn't feel like you're really traveling. It feels like a fast travel. You just click and you're there. It feels more like a Fallout. Fallout in kind of want to be in a space. It's kind of like a Fallout and a little bit of Wing Commander. It's almost like a Fallout was trying to have a intercourse with a Wing Commander a little bit. And then this baby came out, got pregnant, came out, gave birth to the Starfield last year in September. It's not a bad game. Don't get me wrong. It has an interesting story. But it's not what we were promised. It's not what Todd Howard was praising this to be. What Todd Howard was praising this to be with a 45-minute behind the scenes. Everybody was thinking, oh my God, can't wait for September 1st. This is going to be insane. Can't wait for September 1st. I was hooked on it. I bought into the the hype. I'm guilty of it myself. I jumped on the hype. Todd Howard is a good seller. He knows what to say and how to say it. Clearly, the guy's a smart individual, and he knows what words to use and how to. I'm not saying he's manipulating you, but he's a pretty good seller, is what I'm trying to say. Like, he knows how to sell. When he does, even Indiana Jones, the way he's rubbing it in, with the Indiana Jones, like he knows how to sell, and I bought into the hype. So it's not a bad game. It's a good game, but it's not what we were expecting it to be. I think that's really where I would put Starfield. It's not a bad game. It's a good game, but it's not where it should be. We were expecting more from Starfield. But look, there's always room for the improvement. Todd Howard could have a new project. He could have a team working on a new DLC, right? Where he's going to expand the universe and you'll be able to go wherever you want to go. It's not going to be a fast travel. You'll be able to visit wherever you want to visit. It's going to be a much bigger game. There might be some kind of a server, like a Microsoft Azure server where you're going to access all of these star systems and planets from there, from a data center, and you have to be connected to the data center. I think that's one possibility. They might do that and have everything connect to the data center. So we don't know what Bethesda's going to do. Look at Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is a great example, guys, right? You look at Cyberpunk and the disaster that happened, when it was released. Fast forward 3 years later, three and a half years later, here we are. It's better than ever. I finished it. I played it. It's better than ever. And with a DLC of Phantom Liberty, it's even better. So there's always a room for the improvement. Look at the Battlefield, right? Battlefield is a good example. Look where Battlefield is right now. 2042, right? 2042 Battlefield. Look at it. It took 3 years, but in 3 years, look where it's right now. So, yeah, So, yeah. But right now, currently, where it stands currently right now, if you want to play it now, it's a good game, but don't expect too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a good game, but don't expect too much from it. It's the way I put it. It's good, but just don't expect too much. OG says, agreed. As adults, we need all of the consoles and PCs as a gamer. I agree. OG also says, so that kids are usually fanboys, so they don't have the option because they're most likely stuck on one. You know what? I think you're right about that. I think majority of them, the kids, and some teenagers, but I guess you can classify them as kids, teenagers, same thing. I know what you mean. So it's mainly teenagers, kids, like 10-year-olds, 16-year-olds, things like that. They're usually fanboys, so they don't have the option because they're most likely stuck on one console. OG also says, Majestic Lion says, so that is where I think the mentality comes from, and it can carry on into the adulthood. Very true. It's like an old habit that dies hard or goes away really hard. Martin says, I think it will get better in the future with DLC and mods. Yes. OG also says, I find it funny how all the jerk-offs are seeding over Hellblade censorship. Like, who cares? It's just a game. It's still a good game. We don't need porn in games because the whole point of playing a game. I agree. That was one of the main reasons why I made those videos, was like I never felt like I needed to see her, boobies, or I needed to see her. But again, this comes back from teenagers. They're horn dogs. Their testosterone and their, hormones levels are just through the roof. And look, I was like that too when I was younger. I was just thinking about, pussy all day long, right? And so I get it. It's teenagers and they see that and they want to see, I get it. But what I didn't get was the adults, like grown-ass people, grown-ass man in their late 40s and 50s, grown-ass man, bitching and moaning about the censorship. That's what I was like, hey, Billy Bob Joe, you're not 6 anymore. You're more like 60. Like, what's up? By the way, that was a George Carlin joke. May he rest in peace. George Carlin always says, hey, Billy Bob Joe, You're not 6 anymore. You're more like 60. Um, games like that is for the storyline and game mechanics. Yeah, one of the things that I liked about Stellar Blade, this game right here, is the fact that it's trying to be its own unique story. Yes, it does borrow from Final Fantasy a little bit. It does borrow from Bayonetta a little bit, and it does borrow from Ghost in a Shell maybe a little bit more. But the point being is, it's an action adventure, sci-fi, fantasy, role-playing game. And what's great about it, besides having all of those elements that I just mentioned, is the customization, the upgrades, the side missions, going to the, that bulletin board, and checking out to see what's the next side mission. Oh my God, I'm so excited about the side missions. I want to do those side missions tomorrow or the next day or the next week. It's like waiting for a new season of episodes of side missions. Before you jump into the main mission, I purposely refused to do the main missions and just stick to side missions, because I was like, dude, I'm having so much fun doing these side missions, and you are upgrading, you're leveling up, you're learning, you're learning new techniques, you are gaining more gold, and you use that gold as a currency to buy scrapyard parts and things like that, man. Go to the merchants and get more stuff. So my advice to people is, don't rush through this game. Take your time and just enjoy it, man. But people got so stuck on the whole censorship thing, which is just, man, it's like, I get it. Like, if you're a teenager, I get it. When I was a young buck, that's all I was thinking. I was hung, dude. I was hung down there, bro. I was just thinking about that pussy all day long. I get it. I understand it. But what I don't understand is the grown-ass people. Like in their late 40s and their 50s. Like, dude, really? Is it impossible for you just for one day not to think about sex? Can we just have one day where you just don't think about that sex? There's so much of that crap out there. You turn on the Instagram, you turn on the Facebook, you turn on whatever higgy-majiggy social media. It's like in your face, bro. You turn on MTV, it's in your face. You turn on a TV show, it's in your face. Like the sex, it's so in your face every day, dude. My advice to people is, man, you got to filter that shit out, man. Because it's bad for your state of mind. Jordan Peterson talked about this. Yes, even Dr. Phil talked about this, man. The mental state of that, in the obsession with that crap. I'm not saying you should, not enjoy it and look at it. Sure, you're a man, I get that. But you got to balance, dude. The key word is the balance. It took me a long time to realize this, man. The key word is the balance, man. You have to balance everything. Too much of anything, it's bad for you. I mean, I'm just gonna say it right up front. Too much of anything, it is bad for you. Too much of milk, it's bad for you. Too much of gummy bears is bad for you. Too much of potatoes every day is bad for you. Too much of anything, it's bad for you. You gotta balance. Find that balance line. Because if you don't find that balance, man, you're going to fall into that trap. And that trap is the abyss of, all the crap that's out there. And then you're going to have sleepless night. You're going to have anxiety. Like, well, what's going on? Yeah, because you got all that shit in your head now. You're thinking about that shit because your brain is recording everything. Your eyes are like a lens, like a camera lens. And your brain is like a memory, like a hard drive, SSD, solid state drive memory that's recording everything that your eyes are seeing and your spirit is experiencing. And that shit can fuck you up. Sorry for the language. That can really mess you up. That's why we have psychiatrists. That's why we have Dr. Phil. That's why we have Jordan Peterson. These guys are, the great at what they do. They are great at their craft. That's why they're doctors. That's why they're PhD doctors, psychiatry. They understand the mind better than, let's say, me or you. They understand how the mind works, and they understand what can happen to a mind if you're not careful. So balance is the key, man. And I'm also speaking for myself. I'm not sitting here as some kind of a, know-it-all wizard, because I'm not. I'm speaking from my own mistakes, from my own experience, man. So getting back to the whole point of Stellar Blade is, I think social media has a lot to do with that, man. People spend a lot of time on their phones, right? You can't even wash your, I know people that, dude, before they wash their face and clean their teeth and go to have a shower and make a coffee, dude, they're checking their phone. Like, dude, the last thing you should check is your phone. First, go take a shower, go brush your teeth, go put on some cologne, go make some coffee, relax a little bit, look at the sun, go on the balcony, drink your coffee, get some fresh air in, go for a jog, come back, and then you can check your phone. But the first thing people do is they're checking their phones, and that's a no-no, dude. That's you're already starting your day bad, because you're checking that poison shit. This poison right here, man. I mean, I hate to say it, but this thing, it's a poison, dude. This thing, it's a poison. I'm telling you right now, guys. But it doesn't have to be a poison. You can balance it. It's how you use it. Every technology, it could be your best friend or it could be your worst enemy. It all depends on how you use that technology, man. It all comes down to that. And the key word is balance. I learned this shit the hard way, man. Trust me. And I wouldn't be giving you this advice. I wouldn't be saying this to you if I didn't feel strongly about it. 4K, I watched your old video. I think it was from like 4 years ago. You were playing Battlefield 1 on your Xbox One S on your 4K OLED TV. It looked great on that TV. Do you still have that TV? Unfortunately, that was my Vizio, M-class Vizio. I forgot the model number. Might have been 55 something, M55-2. I think that's what it was. Vizio M55-2. Unfortunately, I don't have it. I think I gave it to my neighbor. He needed it. The guy, just moving in, came from another country and really needed a TV. So I donated it to the guy. That was we're talking 2019. It was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. But before I gave that TV to him, I did have to tell him that it's showing some spots. There's some yellow spots showing on the edges of the TV because, the TV has been abused and used for quite a while. But the bottom line is I was able to fix it for him. I was able to calibrate the whole thing. I was able to clean up everything. I was able to get it to work for him. But he can still, I told him, you will see some spots on some bright areas. You just have to ignore that. But the TV is still good. It doesn't have HDR. It's not a high dynamic range television. It was just a 4K television. It was my very first 4K television, Vizio M55. I think it was M55-2, something like that, or M55, or M55-2. I don't know. It's been so long, but it didn't have a high dynamic range. And I remember when I was talking to Joe, 1316 Killer, back then, the guy in Houston, friend of mine, Joe, I haven't spoken to him, so I don't know what happened to him, to be honest with you. But when I was talking to Joe, 1316 Killer, that was his nickname, 1316 Killer. His name is Joe. He's from Houston originally, Texas. And he told me, hey, buddy, I appreciate your videos and your enthusiasm for 4K on that Vizio M55. I think it was M55 too. M55 too. That Vizio, the 55-inch Vizio. But you're missing out on high dynamic range. You got to have that, UHD color. You got to have that high dynamic range, UHD color output. And he told me that you need to get a high dynamic range television. So while I was doing YouTube and working my other job, I was able to make some good money off of the whole videos that I was doing, and plus my job, and things were going good. So I had some money, I had some money on the side. So I said, all right, let me go get a Samsung, because he had a Samsung television. Joe had a Samsung television back then with a really good quantum dot, high dynamic range. And quantum dots back then in 2016 was a big deal. Samsung QLED television back then with the quantum dots gave you a much better spectrum of colors. So I decided to buy myself a Samsung QLED television. Samsung QLED television. And it was a 65-inch Samsung edge-lit. It was an edge-lit panel, which means that the light, it's being lit up from the top to bottom. The only problem with the edge-lit televisions when it's being lit up from top to bottom is the fact that when you turn off the lights and you want to watch a movie with your wife or your girlfriend or your partner or whoever at night, and there's some dark scenes, or there's like a letterbox with a black letterbox on some of these movies, depending on what ratio it is, widescreen ratio, you're going to see those bright lights emitting from top to bottom. There was a certain way to, dim those lights, but the televisions got better after that with a vertical alignment, but the edge lit is what I had. That's why it was so thin. But that television with an HDR, that Samsung, I was blown away by like just how much HDR really made a difference. And I didn't realize how much difference it made till I finally got my television. I think it was late. It was 2017. I'm sorry. 2017, or like, and it was like May 2017. May 2017, I got that Samsung 65-inch edge-lit quantum dots QLED with a really good DCI-P3 color measurement. The color accuracy was pretty good. I forgot what the measurement of the color accuracy was, what percentage, but it was a pretty darn good percentage. I had over 1,000 nits or 1,200 nits or something like that. I think it had over 1,000 nits peak brightness, which was pretty darn good. It was a very bright TV, over 1,000. It could have been 1,500, could have been 1,200. I'm not sure. I just know it was over 1,000 peak brightness nits on that edge-lit television. And I was blown away by HDR, tone mapping, high dynamic range. And that's where I really got bitten by that high dynamic range bug, dude. That's where it all started for me, OG, was that HDR really was a game changer for me, dude. And then I started playing Gears of War. I started playing Madden in HDR. I started playing all these games. It's like when you're virgin and you pop your cherry, right? Or maybe not the best analogy, but like when you're virgin and you pop your cherry, right, for the first time. It's kind of like that. You're like, whoa, high dynamic range. Like, holy shit, right? So that's when I understood what Joe was talking about, and that's where my love for 4K HDR really started. And then the rest is history, me buying my very first OLED, which is the what was it, B1, that signature edition B1. And then I had a B2, and after B2, I traded it in. I didn't trade it, I returned it. I exchanged it for C2. Was it? No, C1. I'm sorry, C1. Um, and then I forgot. Listen, it's been a long time, guys, and I know I had 7 different OLEDs. I know I had like a B, one of the B's classes that had like, or C classes that had a 3D. It was like a curved OLED that had like a 3D on it. Once I started using OLED, man, with a C7, oh, I remember C7. Once I started using OLED, man, that's where it really, I was like, dude, I cannot go back to edgelit. I cannot go back to the LED backlit. Even though I know the local dimming has improved in a major way, local dimming has improved in big major way from Sony and others and even Samsung. But I said, dude, I can't because OLED was next level. Dude, once I got bitten by that bug in the late 2017, I think it was September or October. I think it might have been September, October 2017. Dude, I got bitten by that OLED bug. And once I got bitten by that OLED bug, dude, I knew I can't go back to LEDs. Every television in my house, I got 3 OLEDs. It's all OLED, bro. You're not going to find any LEDs. The only LEDs you're going to find, it's my monitors. My monitors. That's it. You know, I have monitors, they're LEDs, but it's hard to explain, dude. You know, once you try the OLED, then you understand. Oh my God. And I don't want to use the analogy of a virgin person, you know, popping their cherry, right? But it's kind of like that. You popped your cherry, you're like a virgin, and oh shit, damn, I've been missing out on this, didn't I? It's kind of that feeling. And once you first experience it, once you first see it, you're like, it's like seeing a 3D movie for first time, right? Or like putting on a VR headset and watching a 3D VR movie, right? It's kind of like that. It's until you try it, you just don't know. So OLED is definitely like highly recommended. I think OLED is a standard by now, man. Even Samsung is doing OLED and it's being successful with that. QLED OLED is doing great. Samsung OLED, QLED OLED. You got Vizio OLEDs. You got TCL OLEDs, right? TCL has OLEDs. You've got Hisen's OLED. You've got Sony OLEDs. But LG, listen, guys, if you want the really best OLED, the best of the best, LG, man. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with a Samsung Quantum Dot OLED. But LG gives you full package deal, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, hybrid log gamma. It gives you everything. Gives you all of the above. Gives you all the features you need. It's a full package deal, man. And I just think that with LG, you're getting a far better deal. If you're going to purchase an OLED TV, I'm thinking LG, man. And they have perfected themselves with the OLED. Because they've been doing OLED now for what? 10 years, man. They've been doing OLED, manufacturing OLED for 10 years now. They have a much better understanding on how OLED runs and how to prevent the burn-in, how to prevent retention on the screen. They're much better at that than other companies. Let's just be honest. And that's what you want. You want to have the best possible OLED. You want the premium OLED. And the premium OLED, in my case, comes from LG. And I know this for a fact because, OG, I still have my E7. No, my E8. I'm sorry. My E-glass, all glass E8. I still have my E8, and my E8 runs like a charm since 2018, brother. Yes, I have put like thousands and thousands of hours I kid you not, on that E8 OLED, and guess what? It is still working. No retention on the screen, no burn-in on the screen, no dead pixels, zero dead pixels since 2018. E8. How many years is that? 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 23, 24. Almost what? 6.5 years. 6.5 years. 6.5 years. And that E8 OLED, it is still running strong. I would probably say that's one of the best OLEDs I have ever owned in terms of durability. I don't know about the C2 because I got it from last year. I mean, it's good, but I don't know. C10, that CX, that's something that was given to me by LG as a gift. But it's still running great. It's good for gaming, 120 hertz. Has G-Sync and all that good jazz. Same thing with the C2. But E8, granted, E8 is missing a much faster processor. E8 is missing, obviously, a game mode with 120 hertz and all that, refresh rate. Yes, it's missing G-Sync. It's missing FreeSync. But for a movie viewing, for watching movies, I mean, it's a banger. What's the word they say? Banger? See, the way I say a banger, it sounds like bang her. Bang her. It was a banger. A banger. A banger. See, the way I say banger, it sounds like bang her. Bang her. It's almost like you wanna screw her. It was a banger. I don't know. Some words I just have a hard time pronouncing, dude. It just sounds funny when I say it, like a banger. Dustin says, before Microsoft messed up Nokia cell phones, I used to get Nokia phone. I had also used Motorola. I also had one LG phone, but with plastic screen. One low-end Samsung. That was not my favorite phone. Well, LG was, in my opinion, LG was never a dominant force when it comes to phones. Yes, I know they make phones. Yes, I know that. But I never look at LG, ooh, I want to get their new phone. Even though they made some decent phones, don't get me wrong. They made some very nice, decent phones, don't get me wrong. But when I think of LG, I'm thinking OLED television. I'm thinking laser projectors. That's what I'm thinking. When I think of LG, I'm thinking, okay, maybe a refrigerator, right? They do make refrigerators, but Samsung is actually pretty good at refrigerators too. But I guess LG microwave, Samsung microwave, right? But when I think about the LG, I think about televisions. I think about the OLED, and I think about their LG monitors. They're pretty good, and their laser projectors are pretty darn good though. Even though ViewSonic, it's now really. Speaking of projectors, guys, ViewSonic, man, is just watch out. And the reason why I think ViewSonic will appeal to a lot of people is because it's more affordable, and people like to levitate. And what I mean levitate, meaning being drawn in like a magnet towards a company that gives you a great quality, premium quality, but it's also the price is right, right? So it has a great quality, has all of those elements, and the price is right. So when you have all those elements, that's where I believe ViewSonic, and I have a ViewSonic. I have it. I know it's a pixel shifter. I know it's not a true native 4K, right? Here we go again. But nonetheless, it's using a pixel shifter DLP technology, right, to shift and scale that resolution of 8.3 million pixels, and it looks pretty darn good with a pretty decent DCI-P3 color measurement. I still have that projector. It works great. I only use it to watch certain movies, and things like that. But ViewSonic, if you think about the laser, I think that's the new thing right now, dude. The laser projectors, ViewSonic, man. Keep an eye on the ViewSonic. Keep an eye on the ViewSonic, because they're more affordable, and people like to, like I said, levitate and to be like a magnet drawn in to a company like a ViewSonic, because the price is right and you're getting a premium quality, you're getting all those features. So why would I want to go with LG or Samsung or Sony when I can save a little bit more money and get myself a ViewSonic? So kudos to ViewSonic, man. Hey, listen, ViewSonic, you want to sponsor me? I'm right here. I'm right here, ViewSonic. I swear. Samsung Galaxy, even when it was a year, all I have is Samsung. Dustin, you can call me a Samsung fanboy. I've been using a Samsung phones for a long time, and remember Note 3, Note 4? That's how far I go. I just love Samsung, dude. I mean, in like for the phones. Even right now, I have a Samsung foldable Z3. I'm so used to Samsung that I can't see myself using an iPhone. I can't see myself using some other device, man. I'm just so used to Samsung phone that's all I know, dude. That's my platform. Never Dead Ivy says, Mr. 4K, they do have that Dune DLC for free in the Flight Simulator. I know, I need to check that out. Also, the Asuras Wrath, it's on the Xbox Store for $3.99 as a BC 360 title. Cool. But I need to get a Game Pass, man. It's $14. I'll probably get a Game Pass tomorrow. Get back into it, and it's only $14. Display port, let me see. Majestic says monitors are totally different beast compared to a TV because they offer higher refresh rate and resolution and more pixel density and have great black levels. Then even compete with the OLED technology. That's true, actually. Because I guess it's easier on a vertical alignment to use more local dimming zones, right? It's much easier on a smaller monitor to put more and condense more local dimming zones instead of you trying to condense more local dimming zones on a 77-inch or 65-inch Samsung TV, right? So yeah, the monitors, it's a little bit easier to do that. And then you add a little bit of quantum dot technology, right? You put some mini LEDs on there, some mini LEDs with a condense local dimming zones and some quantum dots to give you a much higher color accuracy, DCI-P3 color accuracy. Bro, you got yourself a almost as equal to OLED, almost type of experience. Meaning your black levels, your black digital levels, right? Display port on the PC is the future. I hope it carries over to TV. You know what, OG? That's a good question, dude. I would love to see televisions ditch 2.1 HDMI and let us get display port, man. I think display port would be would be on the next level, dude. It would be on the next level, in my opinion. So, yeah, I agree on that, man. Let's make a display port. Dustin D says, I will not touch the iPhone. Way too easy to break the glass. That's what I heard, man. Like I've seen videos of. Well, I have friends. I have friends who have iPhones, and they tell me I dropped this thing just a little bit, just a little bit. I dropped it, just falls out of my hands. I just drop it a little bit, and the thing gets cracked already. Like, what is this? I noticed that. And they're claiming they're using a Gorilla Glass, right? But what kind of Gorilla Glass are they using if it cracks so easily, right? Because isn't the Gorilla Glass supposed to be super durable, right? DisplayPort would give TVs unlimited high refresh rates, higher than 120. Yes, they can go up to 240 hertz. 300. Imagine that your television has a 360 hertz. 360 hertz, bro. Or 365 hertz refresh rate with some brand new G-Sync 2.0. Oh my God. Imagine playing Battlefield on that thing. Woo! I think it's going to happen, dude. I think all of this is coming, bro. I think we'll see it. My God, I haven't played this in a long time. I kind of miss Xbox. Can I be? Listen, dude. It's like shit, man. I miss the Xbox. Kind of miss it. This reminds me, dude. The fun I had, dude. You guys, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but you can ask Brendan. Brendan will tell you. Anthony, Kenneth Bishop will tell you. When, and even Cameron will tell you. My friend Cameron, Cammy. When Flight Simulator came out in 2020, August of 2020 on a PC, bro, I never gave up on this game. I had issues trying to install it, and it wouldn't install for some weird reason, and it wouldn't download for some weird reason, but I never gave up. And after 4th day, finally on the 5th day morning, I was able to install the game, and I never gave up. And ever since I installed the game, I've been playing it righteously, dude. Let me show you how many hours I put. Let me just, hold on. Let me just, I want to show you. 613 hours, bro, I have put into this game. That's how dedicated I was. 613 hours I have actually put. And Dominic knows, my friend Dominic, he knows, like, how many hours I have put, bro, into the Microsoft Flight Simulator. Let's go back to LAX. Let's go take off, man, with the F-22 Raptor. I need to get my Game Pass. I need to play some games on Xbox. I need to check out some games on the Game Pass that I need to check out. I want to play Halo, dude, multiplayer. Halo, you know what? I want to get into Halo. Like, you know what? I want to finish Halo Infinite. How's that? And I want to play a little bit of Halo multiplayer. How does that sound? I haven't played it in a while. And when I say a while, I mean a long time. And I also need to download the Battlefield, man. Battlefield is something I want to jump back into as well. I want to finish Halo Infinite because I started watching the second season on a Paramount Plus. The Halo TV show, second season, and I like it, man. I really like Master Chief. I like the guy, that actor that's playing the Master Chief. I have no problem him taking off a helmet, putting the helmet back on. I really doesn't. No, at this point, it doesn't bother me, dude. It really doesn't bother me. I know it bothers some people, but it doesn't bother me. I'm kind of getting used to him being the Master Chief. See, I don't think of the TV show. I don't have a video game in the mindset. When I'm watching the Halo TV show, I'm thinking this is a different universe. And that's what Steven Spielberg said. He said, this is a different universe. You know, you can't be thinking... What he mean by that is... The video game, it's a video game. Yes, they're same characters. Yes, it's kind of a same universe. But what he meant by that, and what I think I understand what he meant by that, it's a different metaverse universe. It's a movie, just like The Last of Us. When I watch The Last of Us, Pedro Pascal, I'm not thinking, oh God, that's Joel. I mean, that's the guy from the, you know, what you call it, from the video game, Joel Miller. I know it's Joel Miller, but it's a different kind of a Joel Miller. It's not the video game version of a Joel Miller. See, this is what I'm trying to say. When I watch Halo TV show, I'm thinking to myself, all right, this is not a video game. This is a TV show. And I have to treat it as a TV show. And as a TV show, they can tell a different type of a story about the Master Chief. Video game, it's a video game. So the same way I'm treating The Last of Us TV show. All right, it's a TV show, and that's a video game. So I don't want to, you know, confuse the two. So that's my mindset. And I know some people are having difficult time getting into it because they're thinking, they're in the back of their mind, they're like, that's not a Master Chief. He doesn't sound like a Master Chief. He doesn't walk like a Master Chief. I was like, it's not a Master Chief. Yeah, it's not a Master Chief that you remember from a video game. Just like if I show you the real voice actor of the Master Chief, you would never envision him to look like that. An old guy with a gray beard and the aviators. Oh, but you don't look like the way you sound. Like people like say to me when I go to Horizon Worlds, MetaQuest, and I go under the name John Wick Returns. People say, but you look nothing like Keanu. You look nothing like John Wick. I said, yeah, because it's called voice acting. Yeah. Of course I'm not going to look like Keanu, but I could sound like him. Yeah. Right? So people gotta, I don't know, I hope I'm not confusing people. I hope people understand what I'm coming from with this, what I'm trying to say. Thank you. Never That IV. Thank you. Michael Ironside, first of all, great actor. Great actor, fantastic, legendary actor. Done a lot of movies in the past. Sure. He looks nothing like Sam Fisher. Sam Fisher looks like George Clooney. But George Clooney doesn't sound like Sam Fisher. But he might look like Sam Fisher. But Michael Ironside doesn't look like Sam Fisher, but he sounds like Sam Fisher because he is the voice of Sam Fisher. David Hayter doesn't look like Solid Snake. Colonel, Naomi, where's Colonel? Where's Chattering Nanny? Right? But David Hayter looks like David Hayter, but it doesn't look like Solid Snake. Or does he? I don't know. What do you guys think? Does David Hayter look like Solid Snake? Maybe he could look like Solid Snake with a beard. And he'll probably will disagree on that. I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, no disrespect, David. All right, if you're watching this, I'm not trying to disrespect. I'm just saying, you know. I guess you do look like a. I guess David Hayter's one exception. I guess. All right. I guess David Hayter is Solid Snake in real life, and he sounds like him because he is Solid Snake. He looks like him and he sounds like him. Okay. I'm disappointed that Cyberpunk 2077 has no third person. I think, me and Cameron were talking about this not too long ago. I think every game should have a third-person option and a first-person option. I don't understand why developers feel that you have to be forced to play in a first person. The only time I feel I should be forced to play in a first person is if I'm wearing a VR headset. But if I'm not wearing a VR headset, why am I being forced to be in a first person? Look at, for example, Grand Theft Auto 5. GTA 5, Grand Theft Auto 5 is a great example, right? Why they're not forcing you to be in a first person, right? You look at Grand Theft Auto 5, you can choose between a third person or a first person. And that's how every game should be. You should give people a choice. Hold on a second. I think there's some issues with this game. I might have to restart it. And I feel the same way about the Indiana Jones. When I heard that the Indiana Jones was going to be in a first person only, I said to myself, well, why? Why? Why does it has to be in the first person? Indiana Jones has always been a third person type game from LucasArts films, interactive entertainment, right? Lucasfilms games. It's always been a third person. Even the original one on the Xbox was a third person. I just don't understand why Bethesda feel like they have to always do this whole first person thing. I know that's how they're got famous with Skyrim and Elder Scroll and Oblivion. I get it. Fallout. They're like the first person fetish. They love first person fetish. But I just don't believe that Indiana Jones should be forced as a first person. Indiana Jones should be, or at least give us an option. Give us an option between a third person or a first person. They should have done that. Kurt Russell is Solid Snake. Oh yeah, he is actually. That's what Hideo Kojima said. He was influenced by Escape from New York, The Patch, The Big Boss, and the Colonel was influenced by Rambo. Right? You look at the Colonel, played by what's his name? The Colonel, Bruce Campbell. Not Bruce Campbell, the Colonel, whatever. Fuck. What am I? I'm mixing the names. Bruce Campbell is the guy from Evil Dead. I'm sorry. Well, anyway, the Colonel character in the Metal Gear, it's inspired by Rambo First Blood. Right? First Blood movie, Rambo. And he looks like him. And of course, Solid Snake, Big Boss, it's inspired by Escape from New York. I mean, you look at Kurt Russell with that long hair and the patch. That is Solid Snake. And they even use the name Snake. It's just not a Snake Plissken. It's a Solid Snake. And they went with Solid because there's two twin brothers. You got Liquid and you got Solid. One, it's more positive, a good person. The other one, it's Liquid, and it's more evil. So anyway, you're right about that. Solid Snake is Kurt Russell. I think somebody asked him about that. Are you aware of the video game? And have you ever thought about, like maybe a video game Escape from New York? And he says, yes, there has been offers for him to do, him and John Carpenter. They did offer him various different video game, studios like Activision and others, Atari, you name it. They did offer him to do Escape from New York video game, Escape from LA, whatever. But he felt, and he said that he and John Carpenter, they felt, no, man, Snake Plissken belongs in this world. Why would I want to do a voice for some video game, right? That's based on Escape from New York. In this case, he was referring to Metal Gear, right? Why would I want to do a voice for Metal Gear? And trust me, it would be good, even without David Hayter. But listen, thank God that Kurt Russell said no. Because if Kurt Russell had said yes, then we wouldn't have known about David Hayter. We wouldn't have the Snake that we have today if Kurt Russell has said yes. But he said no. And thank God that Kurt Russell said no, and David Hayter came on board. And David Hayter was already an established actor in its own respect, and also a voice actor. So he did fantastic job with Solid Snake. There's no question about that. And Big Boss. Speaking of Kurt Russell, Escape from New York, it's official. Slipgate Ironwork Studio. Ugh. Why? Okay, Majestic. An actor that would be perfect fit for Solid make Metal Gear, the movie. All right, cool. You know the actor David Wenham, when he played in 300 and in 2006 when it came out, he had the perfect Snake face to a T. If he played in real life Metal Gear movie, his 300 character name was Dillos. Let me look him up though. Let me see. Let me see. I'm gonna look him up right now. David Wenham. Let's see. Just give me a sec. I'll look him up. Oh, I can definitely see a Solid Snake resemblance here. David Wenham. Yeah, for sure. I know he's a little bit blonde, has the blonde hair. He can dye his hair brown or black, grow that beard, start working out, put on some more muscles. Oh yeah, I could see him. Yeah, I could easily see him for the Solid Snake for sure. That's a good call, actually. It's a very good call, man. Yeah, you see it, Brendan? Let me check him out in 300. Oh yeah, for sure, dude. For sure. Well, there you go. How about this? Zack Snyder directs. Zack Snyder should direct Metal Gear, and you should hire David Wenham. Oh yeah, for sure, dude. David Wenham, man, for sure. 100%, man. Oh, dude. Oh, this dude. 100%, man. Oh man, he is a solid snake, man. Come on. There's no question about that, bro. He is the solid snake. Yeah, I'll show you guys here. In case you guys are wondering. Dude, that is Solid Snake, dude. For sure. Telling you, man. 100%. That's a good call, man. 100%, bro. That was a good call. Pay that for $1. Ah. I'm glad you mentioned because I didn't realize until I looked at it. Wow, I was like, holy shit. There's definitely a resemblance there. That's a good call. Listen, man, somebody needs to get in touch with Sony, Columbia Pictures, and Hideo Kojima. Let them know, hey, maybe David Wenham can meet with David Hayter. Maybe they can work on the dialect. Maybe David Hayter can help him out with a dialect. Okay, Colonel. Yeah. Naomi. It's me, Colonel. Yeah. I'm just an old dog. Hired to do some wet work. Don't cry for me. No, I never seen that photo. Dude, this could work, man. I mean, if you really think about it, isn't it funny? Like we're thinking about this stuff, and makes you wonder, like, what is the studios doing? Like the Columbia Pictures, Sony Studios should be thinking about this. The casting directors should be kind of looking at this and say, hey, wait a minute. What about this guy? You know, have we ever thought about maybe this guy? Let's call Zack Snyder. Maybe he can call him and get in touch with him, and maybe we can have a meeting and talk to, his agent. Or maybe have Zack Snyder direct a movie, and because he already worked with Zack Snyder, maybe David Wenham will say yes. If Zack Snyder is on board, right? Because he worked with him on 300, I'm pretty sure David will say yes. And then they can get him through the process of learning about the video game history, get to meet with Hideo Kojima, get to meet with Konami, get to meet with David Hayter, and work on a dialect and work on that. And we might have a good Metal Gear Solid movie on our hands, huh? Carl Urban also is there's some candidates like Carl Urban, Hugh Jackman. Like, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Carl Urban, Hugh Jackman. At some point, somebody was saying that Tom Cruise. But problem with the Tom Cruise, he's too short. You know, I mean, no offense to Tom Cruise. When I say too short, I don't mean like super short, but he's a short guy. It's just, it wouldn't, I don't know. And again, Tom Cruise is a great guy, great actor. It's a mega movie star. Jesus Christ, a mega movie star. Currently, he's filming the Mission Impossible. As we speak, he's filming a Mission Impossible. But my whole thing is like we need somebody who is not like a known actor. I like to give a chance to actors that are not known. I don't want to use the usual suspects, you know, like Quentin Tarantino talked about this, you know, like using the usual suspects, like using just I like to use the unknown actors sometimes. And even Ridley Scott talked about this. Sometimes it's good to use the unknown actor. Because you never know what you might get out of them. You don't know what they're capable of doing unless you actually put them in front of the camera and you give them the script and they start, you know, performing, putting on a performance. So the way I look at it, it's like, I would rather see an unknown actor put on a performance than well, here's a good example. I was watching this man, I know I'm butchering this conversation. I was watching this TV show that's created by Eli Roth. You guys know who Eli Roth is, right? The guy who did The Hostel and all those horror movies, and he also did a movie with Keanu Reeves with his wife, Eli's wife, movie called Knock Knock in 2014. So he created this TV show called Faceless Lady, which is in Ireland. It's based on historical events that have happened. So this in Ireland, and this TV show has unknown actors and actresses, and every single one of them did a pretty good job. See, I like that. I like when a director, it's not putting on these famous faces like Brad Pitt, you know, George Clooney, Sylvester Stallone, all these famous, you know, Vin Diesel, right? I like when a film director gives somebody else a chance, an unknown talent. That's what I would do if I was a film director. I was like, you know what, man? No disrespect to all these great movie stars, but they're constantly being used. They're always there. Right? I want people to see something different. And unknown actors, you never heard about them, you know nothing about them, and then voila, there they are. And they're bringing a great performance, and you're like, holy shit. Right? So that's what I would be doing. If I was like casting people, that's the way I would be casting them. That would be my shtick. Anyway, I need to update the game. I need to go to Content Manager. All right, go to Content Manager. Dude, it's been how many... Oh my God. God, look at this, man. It's going to take me forever till I update this. I'll have to do this tomorrow, man. I see, this is what happens when you haven't touched your Xbox for 5 months. This is what happens. Yeah, that's fine. I'll do it some other time because it's going to take a while. You know, because I haven't touched my Xbox in a long time, and I'll have to update all this stuff, you know. David Wenham gave a is a Winham or a Wenham gave a phenomenal performance on 300. He even He even has that raspy Snake voice, so he's not only looks like Solid Snake, he sounds like him too. I think that would be my choice, man. He would be the one. Paul Lucas and David Hayter. David Hayter were the voices of PlayStation 1. Yes. 4K on YouTube. I want you to check out 300 ending scene and a motivational speech, and you will see and hear David Wenham talk. The video name is called Ending Scene and Motivational Speech. I'll definitely check it out after the live stream because I don't want to get, copyrighted, but I'll definitely check it out. Thank you, OG, for sure. 300 ending scene. I need to watch the 300, man. I haven't seen it in a long time, man. This also reminds me I need to watch 300 because I have the movie. I just gotta put the disc in and on my Oppo or my whatever, my PlayStation 5, whatever I have. But I still have my Oppo, by the way. People still ask me about the Oppo. I still have my Oppo 4K Blu-ray player. Guys, Oppo, it's one of the best, not just the 4K players, but one of the best Blu-ray, DVD, 4K players, media players, the best player I ever had. And I've been through so many of the 4K Blu-ray players, and let me tell you guys, Oppo, that UDP, whatever, the UDP something, UDP 50 or whatever. I don't know. I forgot the model name. I think it's a UDP 50. It's one of the best Blu-ray 4K Blu-ray players I have ever and still own. But I'm going to watch it. Actually, I'm going to watch it on my projector and I'm going to enjoy it. I'll probably watch it. You know what? I'll watch it tonight. There you go. I'm going to watch it tonight. All right, well, guys, it's been 2.5 hours of excellent conversation. It almost felt like a podcast. I didn't think it really felt like a podcast. I didn't think we're going to go this far but I felt like, man, I need to turn on my Xbox. I need to turn it on because, man, you see what happens when you don't turn on your Xbox for 5 months? You're going to end up with a lot of updates. So, it was great, man. It was nice talking to you guys. It was great having a conversation with all of you, man. It was awesome. I don't mind having these conversations, man. I love having these conversations with you guys. It's like a good old days, you know what I mean? And they're just like, chilling out, having a conversation, man, and talking about things. It's great. Thank you. The Never Dead IV. Appreciate it. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you, OG Majestic. Thank you. Let me see. Dustin SWA. Dustin D SWA. OG. Brendan. Dustin D. And who else? Martin F74. Young G Gunna 585. Thanks, man, for being here. Young G Gunna 585. Appreciate your input, feedback. Dimitri, thank you for your feedback too. Thank you, Dimitri, and of course, one and only Steve Stealth Dragon. And of course, Brendan, Martin, another Martin. Thank you, Martin. Yeah, I'll look into Trepang too once I get my Game Pass. I'll probably just buy it, if it's like dirt cheap. Oh wait, it's $30. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Martin. I forgot. I can't pay $30. I'd rather use that $14 for a Game Pass. I'm sure you understand. But that doesn't mean in the future. I'll probably check it out in the future one of these days. You never know. But thank you, Martin, for being here. Appreciate it. And who else? Sean Johnson, thank you for being here. Thank you for your input, Sean Johnson. And everybody else, man, watching out there, thank you. Thank you. Have a good night, OG. Have a good night, everybody. It was great. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. Love you guys. Be good. See you tomorrow.